Go to hell. Cornelius' expression darkened when he saw Letitia trying to attack Dustin. He replicated Letitia's palm attack with equal force, resulting in a loud collision. He staggered a few steps back before steadying himself, but Letitia was sent flying a few meters away before crashing heavily into a large tree. It was like a car had hit her. The force left her coughing blood uncontrollably. What? The expressions of the Jade Maiden Sisterhood disciples fell. Letitia's skills ranked among the top 5 of the Jade Maiden Sisterhood members. None of the disciples could match her power. Yet, she was severely injured by a skinny old man. It was astonishing. Even Edith appeared unsettled at that moment. They didn't expect Zephyr Lodge to have such a strong fighter. You should know your place. Cornelius sneered before returning to Dustin's side. After collecting herself, Brittany roared, How? How dare you hurt Madame Letitia? Your crimes are horrible. Dustin Reese, I order you to apologize to Madame Letitia immediately and slap that old man. Otherwise, I will get mad. Dustin didn't respond to her and looked Edith straight in the eye. Madam Parker, first things first, please get the situation straight. I'm not a member of your guild. I will not let you act as you like. Secondly, everyone can tell right from wrong. You allowed your disciples to twist and distort the truth. It will lead to your downfall sooner or later. Lastly, let me remind you, this is my territory. I'm in charge here. I welcome your presence as guests, but if you continue creating disturbances with your arrogant and domineering attitude, don't blame me for throwing all of you out of here. You wouldn't dare. Edith's temper flared at his words. She was the leader of the Jade Maiden Sisterhood with more than 10,000 disciples. No matter where she went, she was the center of attention. She had never been humiliated like this before. Why wouldn't I? I only let you stay here because of Nikki, but now you have angered me. All of you, leave. Dustin ordered, glaring at them firmly. You! Edith was furious that her face flushed red. The veins on her face were bulging. Suddenly, she coughed up blood and nearly collapsed. She was already severely injured from going to extremes in training. Her internal energy and blood surging only worsened her condition. Seeing that she was no match for Dustin, Edith suddenly turned to Nikki. Why, you traitor? She yelled, I've treated you well all this time, yet you conspired with an outsider to humiliate me. Those words struck Nikki like a lightning bolt, and she froze to the spot. She collapsed to her knees with a thud when the shock wore off. She begged Edith, Madam Edith, I was wrong. I admit to the crimes. You can punish me as you see fit. Please don't kick me out. It's too late. Edith dropped her kind act. Her expression was stern. From today onward, I am no longer your mentor, and you are no longer a disciple of the Jade Maiden Sisterhood. Now get out of here. This is my home. If anyone is leaving, it is all of you, Dustin stated. Edith's expression stiffened before she coughed up another mouthful of blood. She was irritated to the point she fainted on the spot. Madam Edith. The Jade Maiden Sisterhood disciples were shocked to see Edith collapse. They surrounded her, trying everything they could to wake her up. But all their efforts were in vain due to the severity of her injury. Hurry up and get her a doctor. Letitia commanded and got the disciples to carry Edith outside. Injuries sustained from going to extremes in training are not something an ordinary doctor can treat. Of course, if you admit to your mistakes and pay me $5 billion as a reward, I can consider saving Madam Parker, Dustin said impassively. What nonsense! $5 billion. Why don't you rob the bank instead? Letitia glared at Dustin. Edith is blessed and has luck on her side. Nothing will happen to her. Even if she were on the brink of death, we will never beg for your help. Really, good luck then. Dustin smiled. Let's go. Letitia wasted no time. With a wave of her hand, she let the group out. Madam Edith. Nikki struggled to approach them, but was pushed to the ground by Brittany instead. Get lost. You're no longer a Jade Maiden Sisterhood disciple. You have no right to come near us. As she spoke, she turned her attention toward Dustin. And you. You have angered me this time. I will strip you of your right to be my fanboy. I will make you regret this for the rest of your life. With that, she left in a huff. Idiot, Dustin spat out. How could she still make it about herself at a time like this? She was indeed a lunatic. Madame Edith, still kneeling on the ground. Tears streamed down Nikki's face as she watched them leave. She never expected the Jade Maiden, Scripture, to cause them to fight amongst themselves and for her to be abandoned. For some reason, she had become the greatest sinner of the Jade Maiden sisterhood. It's better to leave a guild like that sooner than later, Dustin consoled her. Nikki was filled with sorrow. You don't understand. You don't understand a thing. Madame Edith saved me once and has shown me nothing but kindness. How can I leave before repaying her? Your mentor doesn't care about you at all. Don't lie to yourself. Dustin shook his head. It was good that she understood gratitude, but it was also important to consider who she was showing it to. Nikki bit her lip. I owe her that much. I need to repay her. Do you want to return to the Jade Maiden Sisterhood? Dustin frowned slightly. I'm returning no matter what it takes. Nikki nodded firmly. Her gaze was unwavering despite her battered condition. Fine, I'll help you again for your brother's sake. Dustin felt helpless. There was no turning back for this kid. She was determined to keep going. How would you help me? Nikki looked doubtful. Only I can heal your mentor. I also have the complete Jade Maiden Scripture. I believe they will come again in 2 days. When that day comes, you'll be able to rejoin your guild again, Dustin said calmly. Really? Nikki's eyes lit up. You'll find out for yourself soon enough. I just hope you won't regret it, Dustin warned. No, I won't. I will never regret it. Thank you. Nikki let up in joy and gave Dustin a big hug. Although it aggravated her injuries, and she grimaced in pain, the smile on her face never diminished. To her, being able to return to the Jade Maiden Sisterhood was the only good thing among her misfortune. Just as Dustin was about to say something else, his phone rang. Ruth's urgent voice quickly came through when the call connected. Dustin, bad news. My sister is in trouble. Trouble? Dustin furrowed his brows. What happened? The family treasury has been robbed. My sister is the prime suspect. They're going to use the house law on her. Ruth exclaimed in panic. Try your best to hold them up. I'll be there as soon as I can. Without a moment to spare, Dustin hung up and swiftly headed to the Hammond's residence with Cornelius. Meanwhile, inside the Hammond's ancestral altar, a group of people blocked Natasha at the entrance. She was trapped with nowhere to go. The elders of the family were angry and filled with righteous indignation. They scolded her nonstop. Natasha, how dare you conspire with outsiders to steal from the family treasury? You are truly an ungrateful daughter. You have ruined our 100-year-old legacy. How do you think you should be punished? You bitch. How could the Hammonds have raised such an ungrateful brat like you? The group kept pointing fingers and criticizing Natasha. Amidst the anger, there were also strong feelings of resentment. I've explained many times. I did not steal from the treasury or conspire with outsiders. I have no idea what is going on. Natasha frowned, her expression grim. She had just laid down to rest not long ago, but a group of family elders suddenly barged into her room without a word and brought her to the ancestral hall to be locked up. For some reason, they accused her of theft and forced her to confess. You have no idea. What a joke. Dylan stepped up and said coldly, everyone knows there are only 2 keys to the treasury. One is with you, and the other is with Uncle Hector. With Uncle Hector not around, you are the only one who can access the treasury. That means you're the one behind this theft. Exactly. The key is with you, and now the treasury has been robbed. It must be you. Kate added, Natasha, the family has always treated you well. Why would you do this? Trent exclaimed.